In this video, we're going to take a look at font formatting in Excel 2016, and everything we're going to be looking at is going to be up here in the font group on the home ribbon. And we've got the font name, several things here for font size, font style, and then borders, a fill color, and a font color. So let's just start right here. We've got all the standard Windows fonts here, and actually before I do that, hang on a second here. Let's select the entire spreadsheet. So whatever I do now is going to format the entire spreadsheet. And you can go up here and you've got all the standard Windows fonts. You get a live preview as you move the mouse over everything. If you know what font name you want, Windows comes with quite a few fonts nowadays. So if you know what font you want, you can just go up here, and if the font name is selected, you can just type right on top of it. I'm going to type in VER. Verdana is one of my favorite fonts, and I don't have to finish it because the only one that begins with VER is Verdana, and it will scroll down in the list of font names here to Verdana, and you can click on it. Or when it comes up here after typing in VER, you can just hit the Enter key, and now my entire spreadsheet is Verdana. I've got a font size button here that I can click on the down arrow, and it has some pre-selected sizes here, and it'll do a live preview for me as well. And you notice it does not just increment by 1, it goes by 1 for a while, and then at 12 it jumps by 2s, and then somewhere along the way it starts jumping by more than that. So, and if you don't want one of these here, you can just type whatever you want to right on top of it. So let's say I wanted 13 for a font, just type 13 and hit enter, and everything automatically changes to 13. Now we've got two buttons over here. This one will make the font bigger, and this one will make the font smaller. They do not go by ones though. They go by the numbers that are on this list. So if I'm on 13 and I increase, it should go to 14, 16, 18, 20. We'll go by 2s for a while, okay? So let's click on this, and it goes to 14, and then 16, and then 18, and then 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and I think this might be where it jumps to 36, okay? And the same thing with this decrease font size. It does not decrease by 1, it decreases by working its way through the numbers on this list over here. So we're going to take this back down. Now we can't go to 13 because that was not on the list. We'll just take it down to 12. Okay. We've also got bold, italic, and underline, and these are pretty much standard on all applications that allow you to do any formatting. These are toggles. If I click on it once, it turns bold. If I click again, it turns off. And if you pause the mouse over it for a few seconds, you'll see that the Control B is the keyboard shortcut, Control I is the keyboard shortcut for italic, and Control U is the keyboard shortcut for underline. So those are real easy to remember. Let's turn on italic, and let's turn it off again. Let's turn on underline, and notice the underline does not underline the whole cell, it just underlines whatever is in the cell. And we'll turn that off again. Oops, I just got to click on the U. Now there's a little down arrow here, and that also lets you do an option of doing a double underline if you want. So click on double underline, and that's represented by the letter D up here instead of the letter U. And if I click to turn it off, then it turns it off. And by the way, you can also tell when those things are turned on up here, the buttons turn dark gray. Okay, so what else have we got? Let's actually turn all of these off. Get some normal looking text there. We've got the ability to do borders. Let me select something here before we do anything with borders. So let's say that I wanted these numbers here to have a border around them. You can click on the down arrow here. And these borders all have names, and the formatting applies to your selection. So if I select right border, it's going to do the right border of my selection, which would just be this line over here. It's not going to be the right border of every cell. It's the selection that I currently have. So let's do thick outside borders. Click on that, and I've still got the selection, so you see the green line around it. The only way I can actually see what happened is to click off, and now you see I've got a thick outside border around that around those cells. Let's go here and let's try all borders, and if I do that, I get borders around everything, and notice the thick outside border is gone. So whatever was applied last is what will stick. So if I do want a thick outside border but a thinner border on the inside, this is what I have to do. I have to do the thin borders first, and then go up here and select a thick outside border. And now click out here someplace. Now you can see I've got a thick border around the outside and a thin border on the inside. So the order that you apply the borders makes a difference here. And you also have some options here. Let me select all of this again before I start. And we also have some options here for doing more borders. And that brings up this little dialog box. We got some other choices here, but those aren't related to borders. We'll get to those in some other videos. So you can select the style of your border over here. We've got quite a few choices. You can select the color over here. So let's do some blue borders here. And notice there's still no blue border over here. What I have to do is, after I select the color, then I have to select on the lines over here that I want to turn blue. So if I want the outside borders to turn blue but leave the inside black, I click on the outside parts here. Click on OK, and it's covered up by my green selection. So if I move over here, though, I can see that I've got a blue border around the outside. So let's go select that again. Let's go back to our borders button and choose more borders. And let's say I want red on the inside. Let's go down here and choose red, and I'm going to click on this, and that'll give me vertical lines. If I click on OK now, the vertical lines are red, the horizontal lines are still black, so I need to go back in and do that one more time. So let's go to more borders again. And for some reason it went back to blue, so I'm going to have to click on the down arrow and select red, and then click on this line here, and I'll get the interior horizontal lines. And there's also some buttons up here that let you do the same thing. So I can do an outline or the inside lines here, and I can clear everything, and then I've got top border and a middle border and a bottom border, and the same thing over here for my vertical lines. And click on OK. And now I've got red on the inside and I've got blue on the outside. And the last button up here is the font color. Let's select our headings in row 1 here, and let's go up here and pick our font color. And let's say we want those to be, let's do green. And so everything turns green now. If you choose from the standard colors, there's about 10 colors there, I think, and they will always show up the same no matter what. If you choose from a theme color up here, let's pick a theme color, and let's try this orange one here, and everything turns orange, and that's fine as long as you don't change the theme. If I go up here to my let me see, page layout, and go to my themes over here and choose a different theme, you notice I get a live preview here. As I pause over them, I get the theme colors for that particular theme. So you want to make sure that you select your theme before you select your colors here. Otherwise, they will change if you change your theme. So let's go back to our home tab here. And the other possibility is, what if you don't want any of the theme colors? What if you don't want any of the standard colors? Well, you can go down here and click on more colors. And you can click on standard here, and you get this little hexagon, and you can select one of these colors. If that's not enough for you, click on custom, and you can go in here and pick anything in this big box, and then you can do your slider up and down. It gives you different shades, and whatever you see down here under the word new is what you'll get. And if you happen to know the exact red and green and blue components, these can be numbers from 0 to 255. You can type those numbers in, and you can get a precise color. There are 16 million colors available in Excel and on Windows, and you can pick any one of them if you go in here. Let's go ahead and close that. And the last thing I want to take a look at is this dialog box launcher, this little button with an arrow on it down here in the lower right hand corner. It's in almost every one of these groups here. Here's one, here's one, here's one, and here's one. I guess we don't have any over here. But if you click on that, it'll launch a dialog box for the fonts. And most of the stuff that you see here is, you know, the font name. We've already done the font size. We've done the bold, italic, and underline. But there are a few other options here, and we can do strike through, we can do superscript, we can do subscript. And so if you need those options, you have to go to the dialog box launcher up here, go to the format cells, dialog box, click on the font tab, and then go in here and then turn on or off whatever you want to turn on or off for your formatting. And let's click on OK here. And that covers everything that's in the font box for formatting fonts in Excel 2016.